Hello everyone at YouTube. I am 11 Bravo. That's my name here on YouTube. Any military people would know what that represents. And as you see, I'm not too disguised here, and that's just fine. But I thought, since I've seen all these videos lately that really upset me as an American, being that I've never infringed on anyone else's beliefs. You know, I have a relationship with God and Christ, the real God, that is, and I believe Christ is my Savior, and I expect people to respect what I believe, just like I've never bothered anyone else. But with all these videos surfacing, and being that our far left liberal government wants to cater to the Nation of Islam, it's really upsetting for me, because I'm not getting that same respect in return. So, you know, we've all heard of the water bucket challenge, and I can't even go on, there's so many of them. But I thought we could do the bacon grease challenge. For those who don't know, Muslims, and if you look this up, you'll see many videos of the real side of them. People have this false belief that the true Muslims, the ones that are really into it, you know, like born and raised, and that's their whole life, they're not supposed to smoke or drink or, you know, put any kind of foreign objects in their body. And one big thing is they're not supposed to have, they have something against pigs. You know, they can't eat pork. In fact, you know, even at the sight of a pig or anything, you know, upsets them in a way where they will go crazy. And they believe if, for example, in Iraq, you know, certain people of certain forces, maybe some were American, maybe some were not, I don't know, but I'll just say that certain forces and certain people would put bacon grease on the rounds, and whenever there would be an engagement that they started, since their belief is if they get hit or come in contact with anything related to a pig, even blood or anything, in this case it would be either pig's blood or bacon grease that people would dip their rounds in. And therefore, if a firefight broke out and they got hit with one and died, they would, under their belief system, immediately go to hell and not get their 72 virgins in heaven because bacon grease got inside of their body. As crazy as it sounds, I kid you not, that is the truth. But their system of belief is exactly this. It's the king of deception. That's what they're taught. That's how they're supposed to act. They're supposed to treat people friendly and deceive them by being friendly and acting nice. And that's nothing more than a deception that the Qur'an teaches them, to pull people in, thinking that they are now their friends, so they can gain support. And after they gain that support, then people think, oh, these are friendly people, you know? And not all of them are out blowing people up, but I'll tell you what, they do not like you, unless you are Islam. They want you to convert to their religion. All non-Muslims are enemies and should be killed. Simple as that. That's not coming from my mouth or my ideology. That's simply from the Quran. So they may come off peaceful and friendly, and, you know, not all of them are active terrorists. I'm not by all means saying that. However, they do not despise it. They're not against it, and a real one will never acknowledge that it's wrong for their more active, warlike Muslim brothers and sisters to commit terror acts against non-Muslims. So therefore, I thought of this idea. Since we want to, cater to them, the very few that are here compared to the amount of Americans we have that have, other belief systems, they expect everyone to, convert to Islam and cater to them. And I'm not down for that. I've always respected everyone's beliefs, but I also expect no one to infringe on my life or beliefs. And when I see a video of someone with a work dog at an airport who was told to leave the airport in America because it offended some Muslim, because they don't like dogs either, apparently. That's the very, very, very few minority infringing on a democracy, which last time I checked, democracy means majority. Majority wins. Simple as that. If you don't like our ways and our traditions, get the hell out of here and go back to there. Perhaps one of the worst things is the Sharia law nonsense. Those who are not familiar with it, look it up. I'll give you a quick rundown, and that's it. Do the rest research yourself. It's pretty important that you do. Yes, indeed, Sharia law is in America and is active. And there is certain members of government on all levels, starting at the smallest, being city council or boroughs or townships, all the way up to federal levels, catering and coddling to the very few, of Muslims who want Sharia law, not just for themselves, but they want America to change our laws and traditions and switch to Sharia law, which again it's the law used in the practice of Islam. For example, if a woman, say, is accused of adultery, not found or proven to be committing it, but accused, and I believe 3 or more men agree, Muslim men agree, that she is guilty, she's to be killed. That's it. No judge, no jury, and she's killed. The married ones have to cover their face, or they can be beat or killed for that. Muslim men can have multiple wives. If you get caught stealing, for example, there's no jail time or nothing like that. Most of the time, you're going to lose a limb, preferably your fingers or arm. But yes, this is no secret. Like I said, I'm not going to get into it all here. I don't have enough time. Look up Sharia law. And even more sadly, look up Mark Dice interviews American citizens and asks if they would want Sharia law in America. And these younger millennial people usually say, sure, yes, because they don't know what the heck it is. And they think because someone's bringing it up, it must be great for the country. And these are women saying this. If they only knew what they were talking about. Which afterwards, they change their mind once they're educated. So my whole point is, why the hell is our country moving, and doing everything we can to please someone that cannot be pleased? Okay? We cannot cater to these people. Okay? I'm not racist. I'm not prejudiced. And that's what leftists want to call somebody who does not agree with them or is not on board with moving over for these people and bowing to their commands. Then you're automatically a Islamophobe or, whatever. Okay, then I guess I am. But I've never bothered any of them. But if we continue catering to them, we're going to have some real problems. And you're going to see the same type of violence that you're seeing in France and Germany, to name a couple, because they decided to let all of these Muslims flow into their country. And they even have zones in Germany and France that's all ran by Muslims, and Sharia law is the only law. And this is allowed and was granted to them by the country's government. Unbelievable. And yes, they want to do that in America. As crazy as it sounds, this is a fact. And we cannot let this happen. So my little challenge to get the message out there is the bacon grease challenge. Since they are so horrified by anything that comes from a pig, you just simply take a little water pistol or a spray, a little spray container, and you put some pig's blood or bacon grease in it. And you can either nonchalantly walk by one of these people and spray them. They'll probably not even know it until later. Or better yet, spray their car handle door or perhaps their house, and this will go viral. I don't mean my video will go viral, but that kind of thing will go viral, and it'll get the message though. And as you see, I'm not disguising myself. I'm a man of God. I fear God. I do not fear any person. Simple as that. And I sure in hell love people. I respect everybody. And, I really do like people. But not when they do not give me the same in return, or when they take away my rights. Especially when I fought for them. So, people, just educate yourselves with what's going on, because it will, if it hasn't affected you yet, make no mistake about it, it is going to affect you very soon. I promise you this. Thank God Trump is doing what he's doing. Okay? He is not a racist. He's simply trying to cipher out and keeping away as many of the bad Muslims as he possibly can. Because if all the attacks that happened in France and Germany haven't woken people up, then I don't know what will. Well, actually, I do know what will. When it starts happening here. And it's a miracle of God only that it hasn't happened here, as often as it does over there. And the severity of the attacks aren't what they are over there just yet. But keep moving over for these people and coddling them, thinking that, they're going to fall in love with us if we keep giving them everything they want. And I'm telling you, that's not going to happen. Read the Qur'an. I did, so I can say this. I read the Qur'an. Not because I'm interested in converting. Of course not. But, you'll never see me walking around in a man dress. And I want my beautiful wife to be seen. I'm not going to make her cover up in a freaking black blanket with her eyes poking out. And if someone thinks that she committed adultery, she's going to be stoned to death. Yeah, see if I allow that to happen to her, or my little daughters, or any other female. It's not happening. Islam will never take over America. Even though they do things and have succeeded on some degrees, they'll never have control of this country like they want. And again, they're acting nice just to fool people, to gain positive propaganda, so that people say, oh no, it's a religion of peace. It's not. I'm sorry. The only peace there is amongst other Muslims who are in the same style of Muslim belief as them, such as Sunnis and Shiites and the Kurds. They're the three main Muslim groups, and they butcher each other. It's been happening for thousands and thousands of years. The Sunnis hate the Shiites, vice versa. The Kurds are the best out of them all. In fact, they were good allies of ours in Iraq, and they still are. Saddam Hussein used to try to kill them every chance he had. And, you know, I kind of want to exclude them out of this because they are different. They're not violent, you know, outside of their own self-defense. At least as far as I know and witnessed. So, my whole point of this video, like I said, is I'm trying to educate people about the truth of Islam, being that I experienced it, and, you know, I've read the Qur'an, and I've talked to people, and if just do your own research, look at videos. These people are proud to admit that they would gladly kill someone who is not one of them. If you're a little child and your family is Christian, you might be 3 years old. You don't know what that means. You just, you know, worried about eating, you know, or getting a toy. They don't care. If your family is over there in these countries and you're a Christian, you're going to get your head cut off. That's the reality, and that's how these people are. And if something does happen with this video and I'm called a bigot or this and that, then so be it. I believe as a soldier and as an American citizen, I earned my right to have the freedom of speech. And I'm not speaking fake news. These are facts that I'm speaking. And those of you who are educated on the level as I am with this religion and with the current affairs that coincide with this, that are taking place right now and have been, and are continue to get worse, especially after Trump leaves office, hopefully after 8 years and not 4 years. It's, you know, it's gonna be bad. You know, he's gonna keep things at bay, I believe, you know, or at least he's gonna do his damn best to keep things at bay, because he's a great president. And he's not racist or prejudiced. He just simply doesn't want to make the same mistake that France and Germany did. Can you imagine going down to a place in your local city and, like, say, you know, like, let's pretend Chinatown was instead a place where you know, it'll be similar to that. Chinatown, you know, it's filled with Chinese immigrants. But, you know, they're friendly. You don't have problems with them. Americans go through there. We shop. We eat there. I have no problem with Chinatown existing in cities. But this will be very similar. Except, you know, let's call it Islam Town. And this will be a spot in the city that is cordoned off to all outsiders, where even local police do not enter. Sorry, I'm plugging in my phone. Yeah, because Sharia law will be implemented there. And if you are welcomed there, it's only because, you know, you're paying money, you know, to buy stuff from their shops. And even though you're an American citizen and you're in Islam Town, you know, in New York or Philly or LA, wherever it is that they set these places up, you won't see your local police there. In fact, they won't be allowed to go there. They have no jurisdiction there. But there will be Sharia law, and that's the only law that's implemented there. And it'll be patrolled by, you know, people, Muslim men that are armed, probably AK-47s and pistols, and you can be executed right there in the middle of the town. I know this sounds nuts, but it's the complete truth. Just because you're maybe not Muslim, or you're accused of being a Christian, or you're suspected of stealing, or talking to a Muslim female who may be married, and maybe you don't know she's married, but that is considered adultery, and you can be stoned or beheaded for that under Sharia law. Look this stuff up. I can't make this up, and I wouldn't. This is crazy. And there's a chance that this could happen in our country. We already have training camps. God is my witness. Look that up too. Don't take this stuff from me. Don't believe me. I'm just some guy posting a video informing people of it. Look this stuff up yourself. There already are, I believe, 28 known training camps that the FBI and CIA are fully aware of, but can't do anything about it because they can't prove that there's illegal activity. That's correct. They own lots of land. They have weapons. They practice. It's really no different than the camps we were bombing in Afghanistan. I mean, these are extremist mosques that own lots of land, and they use that land for, training for assaults. And it's gonna get really ugly. And for some reason, they're protected by some law. Personally, I think we should go in there on a federal level, and being that, they are the enemy right now, the so-called extremists, practicing, commando type missions, and using real firearms and real training, doesn't sound right. I mean, would we have let the Nazis set up camp in America in the 1940s and practice training to kill Americans? I don't think that would have went over very well. And yet we're letting these people do this. What are they training for? For fun? No, they're training to kill our asses on our soil. So they are enemies, and they're combatants. And therefore, I would imagine that the military should go in and take action. And I don't believe that falls under a police state, being as though that they're enemy combatants, that are training with, assault weapons and explosive devices. It just doesn't make any sense. Fortunately, Americans have their own militias who outnumber these idiots by, tens of thousands to one. And thank God we have the right to bear arms. I know I take advantage of that. And anyone like that wants to come close to me and take a shot. Been there, done that. I have the training, and I'll deal with it. I'll never be preemptive about it unless that time gets here, and we have no choice. But I don't want any more war. But unfortunately, our government is letting this storm continue to brew. Trump is doing all he can, but he's only has so much power, unfortunately. So anyway, I've went way over the time that I wanted to, but this means a lot to me, and I need people to know about this, because most people I tell this to don't believe it. But once they research it, they see it for themselves. So what I want people to do is, this little bacon grease challenge, at least it'll bring attention. It's a childish act, I admit that. It sounds immature. But how else do we bring attention to this? That this minority group who hates us, because their religion tells us anyone who is not a Muslim is an enemy and must be treated and perceived as an enemy and a threat. Okay? The Bible doesn't teach that. No other religion I know of teaches that. What kind of God would teach you that anyone who does not believe what you believe deserves one thing: death, regardless of their age or gender? That's it. Just because you're not a Muslim, you are worth nothing more than death to them. Again, not all of them are active killers or terrorists, but, I've seen it firsthand. They are taught to deceive people, meaning you might work with one of them or something, and they will be friendly to you. They may even invite you to their house. It happened all the time in Iraq. They would invite you in and be friendly, and, the man of the house who invited us and is serving us drinks and coffee, and, you would think he's your best friend. And I kid you not, the same man would, wait a couple hours until we left after just, being friends with us and serving us dinner with his family and introducing us to his family. That same guy will wait a few hours, change into, his military clothing, put on some tactical gear, arm his AK-47 or roadside bombs, otherwise known as IEDs, for improvised explosive devices. He probably has a cache of RPGs, rocket-propelled grenades, and he's going to go out and fight us. The same soldiers that were in his house, having dinner with his family, him and his buddies will be out trying to murder us. And this is no BS, people. This is real. This is straight up real. And anyone who is there or is educated on the truth of these people and their beliefs will tell you this. I know you liberals are going to hate me for putting this video up, but again, I'm not lying. This is the truth, and it needs to be exposed, because if people like me don't start telling the truth, then it's just going to continue to get worse, and I don't want that to happen. I would have no problem. I don't have problem, There's many religions. I have no problem with any of them, just because they're different than mine. But I do have a problem with a religion that wants me killed, and all my other fellow Americans, and my family. And if given the chance, they would absolutely try to butcher every last one of us people. Again, do not take this from me. Do your own research. And don't talk to one of them about it, because as I said, look it up. Read the Qur'an. It will tell you that you are to deceive people. That's their number one tactic. You must deceive people that are not Muslim. And you should try to convert them into becoming Muslim. If they are not interested and have no desire to convert, then that is all the proof that they want and need to kill you. Period. End of story. You are now useless to the world because you do not wish to be a Muslim. End of story. It's very sad, but it's true. Do your research, people. And please pass this on. But only after you find out that everything I just said in this video is nothing but the truth. Unedited, unexaggerated, strictly from what I've learned from research, and more importantly, what I know from experience. And I just challenge you all to look it up. And after you see it for yourself, repost this video to as many people as you can. That's all I ask. And I just thought the bacon grease challenge would cause some controversy that would probably put a mark on my head, but that's something I'm willing to die for. As you can see, this is a star. It's not the Star of David. I'm not Jewish, but of course I have no problem with the Jewish people. In fact, they are great allies of the United States, and it needs to stay that way, because the only people that Muslims hate more than Americans and other non-Muslims are Jews. So it's very important that we continue everything we do for the Jewish community, and more importantly, Jerusalem as a nation. But God has their back as well, and He'll never let that nation fall to any enemy. But anyway, this is the army symbol. It's the army star. This here is my blue cord, which is known to some people in the army, or military, I mean. Everyone in the army should know what that is. It's just a blue cord that you get if you're an infantryman, that you wear in your dress uniform. I take a lot of pride in that. I worked very hard to get that cord, and I've had it ever since. So anyway, I'm going to finish this video at 33 minutes, and it's only about 20 or 25 minutes longer than I intended. I'm sorry, but there's a lot to say, and it's important that this gets out. So we'll see what happens with it. You know, this is not a hate video, but it's something that needed to be brought up, because you're not going to hear from the mainstream fake news people. They're just cowards. They're not going to say it. And many people have their own notions about the Nation of Islam, and I'm here to tell you the truth. That's it. It may not be what people want to hear. It may not, whatever. No one in this country has the right to not have their feelings hurt. And for some reason, many people believe that they do have that right. America has a lot of amazing rights. That's what makes our country so great. And one of those rights is freedom of religion. Okay? That's why I've never had a problem with anyone who did not believe what I believed in, which is Christ died for my sins. If you don't believe that, I will still be your friend. I'll still talk to you. I'm certainly not going to want to see you dead or cut your head off because you don't believe me or believe in my religion. So that being said, I'm sure in hell I'm going to do everything I can as one person to spread the truth and news, because I'm not going to let myself, my family, friends, or any other American get taken advantage of and or slaughtered just because they're not Muslim and they don't desire to become Muslim. And for any Muslims who are out there, what kind of God do you think would want you to murder everybody you possibly can who does not wish to convert? Ask yourself that. Do you really think that God is real? There's no way. God wouldn't make people just to be butchered in His name. And it's amazing that anybody would actually believe that. So, this may cause a lot of controversy, and that's fine with me. I'm not here for attention. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to do my part to spread the truth and save America. Even if this saves one person or educates one person to the truth, then it succeeded. And this last 36 minutes and 30 seconds has not been a waste of time for me. So I have to end now because it's too long, even though I could go on for hours. But like I said, please just watch this video and repost it only after you do your own research to verify that everything I just said is true, especially the part that they have already legally their own designated areas already set up in Western countries, particularly and factually Germany and France. Certain sections of cities or towns in those countries are strictly for Muslims, and the only law enforced or used or accepted is Sharia law. Local law does not apply there. Police officers will not go there and cannot go there. And pretty much they can do whatever they want to anybody they want with no consequences outside of what whoever their Sharia law enforcement officials in their communities wish to do. And they want the same thing in America, and I'll be damned if that happens. That cannot happen. But believe it or not, there are politicians that are on board with this. We simply cannot allow that to happen. Just imagine America caving in to that degree where you're actually forbidden to go to a certain area of your favorite city, or perhaps even a city or town you grew up in, and you can't go there because it's cut off and reserved for Muslims only, and Sharia law is implemented. So maybe you even end up there by accident, and you're being assaulted or about to get beheaded, and you call 911. But wait, either no one picks up or they tell you, sorry, there's nothing we can do. You're in a Sharia law enforced area. You're finished at that point. And this is a real, extremely real possibility. I don't think it'll happen while Trump is in office. There's no way. But, you know, God willing, that's still only, you know, just over 7.5 years away. Assuming he gets, you know, nominated a second time for 2 terms. After that, we're finished. If Hillary would have been elected, this would have probably already been in the works. and they would have their own areas, and it would keep getting spread and spread and spread, and that's exactly what they want, and they even tell you that. Again, research that. They want control of the world, and they want everyone to be converted or killed, and everyone must follow Sharia law. That is the only law that will be expected to be followed. Nothing else will matter or exist if they had their way. So, stick up for yourselves, Americans. Till then, God bless you all. Whatever your belief system is, I still care about you. Doesn't matter what country you're from, what race you are, what gender you are. I have no problem with you. If you're watching this video and you hate me and want to kill me and my fellow Americans because we are not Islam, then that's okay with me. But I'm here to tell you, your agenda as an entity will never succeed here in America. Germany and France recognize their mistakes and they're trying to correct it. And maybe they'll succeed, maybe they won't. It depends on their willpower. But that won't fly here in America. You were welcomed here, and you were all treated with respect by the majority and by the government. But you've been given enough. Your rights and your freedom of religion have been respected by most citizens and by the government. And if that's not enough, then get the hell out of here. Because you're going to respect everyone else the same way you were respected. And there's no way you will succeed in taking over our land and putting a flag up, claiming it to be your territory and controlled under Sharia. That just will not happen. You must not know American history and the mindset that most Americans have. And I'll tell you, most of us have weapons because of the Second Amendment. We value our land. We value our rights and our freedoms. And we have fought many wars to keep that. And we have succeeded every time. And I'm here to tell anyone who is against this or against me that nobody will ever, ever, ever take away our freedoms and liberties and tell us what religions we can or can't practice. Because for every one of you with an AK-47 or whatever rifle you have, there's probably 100 or 500 Americans who have everything from shotguns, rifles, all the ammo, military equipment, and we're just as capable of making IEDs as you are. We don't want war, but we will never surrender to anyone who wants to impose and tread on what's ours. So if you wish to remain in this country and follow your religion, you have the right, if you're an American citizen, to do so. But the minute any of you decide that that's not good enough, and you want to start killing Americans because you want to have your own land that forbids anyone who is not Islam, or you want to start attacking us, then you're going to bring on a war that you can't handle. And you will meet Allah much quicker than you could imagine. And you'll get to witness very quickly, should you do that, that those 72 virgins you think you're going to get is going to be 72 demons ready to give you a little something. So, that being said, I want peace, and that's why I'm putting this video out here. Simply to spread the word, make people aware of it, so a little smolder can be put out before a giant eruption of flames break out. Because none of us want that. And I would love to coexist with people of Islam, but that can't be done unless they're willing to do that. And if they give Americans no choice but to fight back, then they shall receive, and they will lose. Americans love what we have. Americans love our weapons, and we have plenty of our own militias and patriots, and most importantly, all of the military personnel that whooped your asses over in Iraq and Afghanistan are now in America, out of the military. But we still have the uniforms, we still have the training, and we still have the ability to throw your ass all the way back to where you came from, if necessary. So just remember that. Again, I hope it never happens. Because I'm tired. I'm tired of it all. I want rest and I want peace for myself and all Americans. But if you all continue this, and y'all won't settle, you're simply asking for something I'm telling you now you really don't want. It's that simple. None of us want it. And we're not going to start it. But we sure in hell will not lose. I can't say anything else. It's been too long. But just remember, Americans do not lose when it comes to our traditions, our values, our religion, and our rights. They simply will not be taken away by anybody. Never did and never will. Peace out. God bless you all.